Gonna be short and sweet tonight, as I'm just gonna drag everybody's game because we continue to just scratch the bottom of the barrel this season where gameplay is concerned. As every season of Big Brother seems the gameplay always devolves into terrible gameplay rather than evolves, and we see a lot of that this week and just this entire season as a whole, where this cast has everything ass backwards. Where at the first half of the season, everybody was voting out their shields, with Heisem going out, Felicia and Cirie and Mimi all lost a shield. Even Jared lost his shield with that. And then Corey voting out Izzy, lost a big shield for him there. The first half of the season was people voting out their shields, which at the first half of the game, it should be the opposite. And now we're in the second half of the game, and it seems like everyone wants to keep all of their shields around. You know, it's nice to have a shield or two, but to have 3, 4 shields in the house when you're about to go down to 9 people is also ass backwards. It's like, this is how they should have thought the first half of the season, but now they want to do this the second half of the season with all the guys wanting to keep each other around seemingly longer and longer in the game as like a shield in front of them. That's at least the excuse for what Jag and Cam have done this week. And now we have the usual flip-flopping with this cast about who they want to vote out. Jag and Matt have been plotting to vote out Mimi rather than Felicia the last few nights. They did change their mind, only to have Corey also think that maybe they should vote out Mimi, America as well, of course, because maybe Mimi would be better in competitions rather than Felicia. And once Matt and Jag hear that, of course, that was their original plan, and they want to go along with that as well. When Cam finds out about that, Cam is not very happy to hear this. He realizes slowly that he made the wrong decision, probably not putting up Corey on the block, because Jag and Matt are blaming Corey for wanting to flip this thing. And that upsets Cameron, because they could have just got rid of Corey this week because he knew he would do this. And Cameron's the idiot, though, that didn't go with his gut to get out Corey, so he has nobody to blame but himself. But then Jag and Matt convince Cam that they can make Corey basically look like the face of this move, which is what's been happening to Corey's game for weeks now, ever since the Izzy move. It just continues to grow Corey's target bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is something else that will do that again when he looks like he is the poster boy for this move. And what Corey was doing wrong was wanting to blindside Blue and Cirie with this vote. But then Cam wants to make sure they know about that vote. Jag tries to keep Cam from doing that, because there's like this long list of thing happening where Corey's playing his game for America and Jag's playing his game for Corey, and it's just all very stupid per usual. As I said the other night, nobody actually really trying to win this game, in my opinion. They just continue to play so dumb. And let's go through everybody. We have Mimi on the block, who has yet to play aggressively all season. You would think that maybe being put up on the block would be the thing that finally lights a fire under her ass, but nope, it hasn't. Mimi's still doing the bare minimum, even up on the block, even if she feels safe, because it seems like Felicia is a target. You'd think she'd do a little more campaigning than she's actually doing, but of course she is not. Felicia also up on the block, who her big idea before the veto was to go to America, tell America that she needs to vote out Corey because it would be better for her game, which is probably not wrong, because, you know, a showmans together are always going to be a target to possibly be put up on the block together. But that was still stupid of Felicia. Felicia causes some commotion this week trying to paint a target on Corey and America, only for Corey and America to possibly want to be the ones to save her in this ass backwards house. And then Felicia is now looking like she's going to make this fake alliance with Corey and America to not target them. And even though her idea is still, if she stays in the game and wins HOH, she wants to put up some combination of America, Corey, and Cam, or put up America and Corey and backdoor Cam. Something to that effect is Felicia's plan if she stays in the house going forward. I think that Felicia, however, is too much of an emotional player. She's been trying to drag Cirie's name through the mud for weeks now. But with Mimi going, Felicia now has nobody if she's going to continue to drag Cirie's name through the mud. So it's just bad gameplay from Felicia. She's the opposite of a well-rounded player. I think she's bad at everything personally. I don't think she's good at competition. She won a crapshoot. Socially, she's too emotional to be a good player. And strategically, we've seen all season she was kind of a sheep the first third of the season, and then just mad that she was a sheep since then. But I mean, you were the sheep, so maybe you should actually try and find a game, but I don't think Felicia's going to find it. And then we have Cam, the HOH. Cam, this has been another bad HOH in a string of bad HOHs this season. Cam's original plan was to either target Felicia or Corey, and now he seems to have been talked into targeting Mimi over both of his original targets. That is a giant sign of a terrible HOH job and just bad gameplay there. I think Cam comes out of this week maybe stronger socially than he came in, which I think is what production may have wanted this week from Cam. They love to save Cam, but they also talked Cam out of putting up Corey. I guess the production's thought is that Corey can be a bigger target ahead of Cam, maybe going forward, but who knows? I think Cam still looks terrible this week. It's not like his target went down that much, so I think it was a bad week for Cam overall, but I mean, is it really a good week for anybody? I don't think so. We have Jag, who, of course, as I talked about last time, has figured out that if he repeats himself over and over with his torture tactics, which is the worst feeds you'll ever see in Big Brother US history, is Jag repeating himself over and over, but it works to at least strong arm Cam. Cam gives into those torture tactics, so Jag's been doing a good job of getting one over at Cam at least, but it's really just two players that were voted out unanimously, and both players this week think they're geniuses, even though they were both voted out unanimously earlier in this season. But that seems to be what this season is rewarding, getting voted out unanimously. As I want to point out again, Jag does all this shit for Corey, always trying to save Corey in conversations, trying to save Corey in this game, only for Corey all week to say he wants Jag out before Matt, and that's just where we stand with this bad gameplay. Corey himself, his reads for the past 2 weeks, god-awful. Corey's reads have been shit, and I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon because he has struggled to get information from people because he doesn't have an Izzy or a Jared in the game anymore, and America's pretty much good for nothing. She's not good at getting info for Corey, so Corey has to deal with having bad info and thus having bad reads. Now, there's a debate online of, is it bad for Corey to vote out Mimi over Felicia? Probably. I mean, Mimi has not want to work with Corey either, and I think Mimi would also probably target Corey or America going forward, but Felicia's doing the same exact thing. And I think the worst thing for Corey is, I think, everybody's talking about jury votes, yet Corey doesn't seem concerned that Felicia probably won't vote for him to win in the end, where I think he could get Mimi's vote because Mimi is a much more logical player, whereas I've established earlier, Felicia is totally an emotional player. So that's something that Corey's getting wrong as well, and he's looking like the face of this possible flip, which continues to grow his target. America, she's just the usual type casting that Big Brother loves. Grodner loves to cast her women that are just there for showmances and just there to help the men. And America wants to go to the end with all men. And sure, it might be good for flirting with Cam and Corey, But outside of that, I mean, can America actually get votes to win? She has one side of the Nicole Franzel game down, like I've said before, the whole flirting aspect. But she doesn't play enough of the game to probably get a jury vote unless she's against somebody who they're going to be bitter against. Maybe she could get a bitter vote win if she somehow makes it to the end with her showmance, which seems impossible because they have such a giant target. But America, I just don't think anybody's going to respect her game in the end, at least not with this kind of jury that we're seeming like we're going to get. Who does that leave? Oh, well, I always forget about Bowie, so let's talk about Bowie quickly. I still think Bowie is pointless. I still hate Bowie. I think she's a bad casting choice. I mean, if you like watching a player just be there, then I guess Bowie's the one for you. I mean, you could say she hasn't pissed anybody off and thus hasn't been a target, but she's not a target because she actively does not play the game. And I mean, that's just a giant waste of time for all of us. There is then Blue. Blue played so sloppy over the past week that her game's in danger. And Cam's been trying to use Blue as a scapegoat all week to make it seem like Blue was the one pushing for Corey. So, of course, Corey and America want Blue out soon. I mean, Blue has tried to establish things this week with Cirie and Mimi. But if Mimi's going, then I think Blue's at this big disadvantage. Jag has, completely turned on Blue. I mean, you could say, yeah, Blue was on board with voting Jag out of the house unanimously, but if Jag actually knew Big Brother and watched any season of Big Brother before, he would know that there's this thing in Big Brother US seasons where everybody likes to vote unanimously just to be with the house. And so, coming back into the game, you would think that he would at least try to have a decent relationship with Blue. But instead, he throws Blue under the bus. I think a lot of that has to do with that Jag just hates women. Everybody wants to cry misogyny all season. Well, Jag's one of the bigger offenders to me because all he does is talk about how women are bullies, and then he does worse things because he's one of the biggest hypocrites you'll ever see. Cirie, I mean, she does a good job of going under the radar after being this huge house target, so I guess I have to commend her for that. But if she was a more aggressive player this past week, she could have actually did what she wanted to do and get revenge on it for Jared and get Corey out of the house, because she had information that she could have told Cam about Jag and Matt that she didn't earlier this week about how they were coming for Cam. I just don't like how Cam and Cirie had this conversation a week ago about how Cam is going to protect Cirie. And then Cam's the HOH this week, and he doesn't go to Cirie and try to give her information, and vice versa. So, what are we doing? We're not playing a good game there. We're not even trying. I just hate it. I hate the gameplay this season. It's awful from everybody. Everybody is just doing illogical moves every single week, and it's why the season is so stale. And it's why the ratings are down. It is what it is anymore. To count down for this final month of this season, it's just another week of shit gameplay. That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, everybody's playing terrible in their own little special ways. Which leaves Matt, because everybody wants to praise Matt's game and say he's playing a good game. I don't think he's playing a good game anymore. I think he's playing the best of the worst games, but he plays the exact same way as most people play, where he just tells everybody too much. He goes around the house, causes some mischief. Everybody plays the exact same way, like I've been saying for a week now. I mean, I've really been saying it all season, but I've been saying it this way for a week now, where everybody plays telephone, telling everybody everything, telling everybody too many things. They have alliances with every single person in the house. Matt is literally no different. He just happens to have slightly better relationships with people, and that's literally it. So yeah, sure, I guess if you want to say Matt has the best game, it's like having the best bag of trash at the fucking landfill.